Hi everyone, welcome back to Over Books. I'm Ellie and today I'm doing a tag. This is the Omnivore Reader tag. So this was originally created by Emma from A Cup of Books and I was tagged by Lauren from Reading with Makar. I will link both of them down below as well as their videos and we're going to jump into it. So the purpose of this tag is to talk about the different genres that you read. So the first one is to pick 4 genres or subgenres that you read. There's a little note to say try and pick as wide a scope as you can to make things interesting. Then to answer the 3 questions down below for all 4 genres. So the 4 genres I have gone with are middle grade fantasy, historical romance, non-fiction, and poetry. They're not my most read genres, historical romance definitely is, but they are genres that are all quite different that I do really enjoy reading. Some that maybe I don't read as often as I would like to, some that I used to read a lot, and ones that I'm all kind of dedicating a bit of time to in 2021. So question number 1 is, what is your favorite book from this genre? I'm going to go through each question and go through the genres that way rather than answering all 4 questions for one genre at a time. I hope that makes sense. So for favorite book from this genre, starting with middle grade fantasy, my favorite is Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. I talk about this one all the time because I love it. It's one of my favorite series of all time, and they're kind of, there are a lot of middle grade fantasy series that I would consider my favorites of all time. Percy Jackson, the Narrowway trilogy, His Dark Materials, so many, but this is the one that I'm like, absolutely this, like, hands down, one of the best things I've ever read. For historical romance, this one was hard because I'm only like a year and a bit into my historical romance journey, so I haven't found, I haven't read nearly as much as I would like to, but for this one I kind of just went more with an author, and this probably doesn't surprise you if you've seen any wrap-ups or things, but I went with Sabrina Jeffries. I think my favorite of hers is this one, Beware of Scots Revenge, which is book 3 in the School for Heiresses series, but yeah, I'm not really sure. I just know that she's my favorite historical romance author. Non-fiction, this changes like all the time, depending on how I feel. When it comes to non-fiction, I tend to read books about social issues, so things like feminism, books on race, books on sexuality, books on disability, and that sort of thing. So that's kind of my subgenre of nonfiction, but I don't really know what the term for that subgenre is. So with that being said, right now I've been spending a lot of time thinking about Joan Didion, particularly Year of Magical Thinking, which just is a book that just completely changed my life and I felt very comforted in a time where I really needed that book. So that one is one that I've been thinking about a lot recently. If you saw my haul for March, I just bought another one of Didion's books, Blue Nights, which kind of connects to that one. So I've been thinking about that one a lot lately. And for poetry, this was also hard, but I had to go with Ariel by Sylvia Plath because this is probably the collection that I've spent the most amount of time with. I studied this for a literature class, and then I also decided a couple of years later I had to do this like web design class to make up something, and it was like the only one that was available, and I decided to literally make a website that was like dissecting these poems. So I've spent quite a lot of time with it, and there's just something about this one that it gets to me in that way. Question number 2 is, what book are you currently reading / just finished from this genre? So, middle grade, I just realized I didn't grab it off my shelf, but that's okay. I'm currently reading the Kane Chronicles series by Rick Riordan. Been talking lots about Rick Riordan lately, so yeah, I'm sure you're all sick of me talking about my plans for that. But that's what I am rereading. Oh no, what I am reading now. We'll talk about rereading later. I just finished, in terms of historical romance, Rebel by Beverly Jenkins. You will have heard me talk about this one in my wrap up just the other day, but I really was not a fan of this one. This is my first time reading Jenkins, and I just thought that it just needed like another round of edits at least. And yeah, those are my thoughts on that one. Non-fiction. I am reading A Vindication of the Rights of Women by Mary Wollstonecraft. I had to read chapter 2 for class, and I'm doing a group presentation on it, so I had to read that. I'd already read chapter 1 in non-fiction November last year, so I am slowly continuing this. I found a good, I found a listenable audiobook from LibriVox, and I've just been watching that. That's up on YouTube, so I've just been like listening to that, and yeah, slowly getting through this, and I am enjoying it. It's a lot. And for poetry, in the same vein, I recently had to reread Songs of Experience and the Marriage of Heaven and Hell by William Blake. That's also part of this group presentation, so I've been rereading this and a little bit of Shelley. We only had to read like 2 poems of Shelley for this particular week. So, yes, I've been reading that one. Okay, and the final question is, what book on your TBR from this genre do you think you'll read next? So, middle grade. This is where rereading comes in. The Subtle Knife by Philip Pullman. Been rereading this series. Read Northern Lights mid to late March, and I needed like a little bit of time in between that one and this one. So gonna be picking this one up maybe even by the time you see this video. So yes, hopefully we'll have read that one. What's next? Historical romance. We're going with A Rogue's Proposal by Stephanie Lawrence. I'm very slowly trying to get through a particular series. The Sinster series, that's really hard to say. The Sinster series is one of those. And this is book 4 or 5 now. I don't remember. Okay, book 4. So, yes, trying to get through this one and book 5 in April, and I own the next few books, and then yeah, I can hopefully order the last books in the series in May when I'm off my book buying ban, and yeah, yay, fun times. Yeah. Okay, non-fiction. I'm going with Staring How We Look by Rosemary Garland Thompson. I have literally been searching for this book for about 5 years. So I started reading Rosemary Garland Thompson in my 3rd year of uni. I found her book Extraordinary Bodies at the library just like completely randomly one day, and I picked it out and I started reading it, and it was really, I mean, I would really like to do a post or a video talking about some of the books that changed my life, but that is one of them. And ever since, I've just kind of been looking for this one and the other ones that she's written. So she is a disabled critic and academic, and yes, this is a book about staring and what that has to do with, mostly with disability. I think perhaps a little bit to do with some intersections of that as well, but I believe that the basic stance is disability, so I think it talks a little bit about different stuff like that, and depictions in art, media, fashion, memoir, and basic human interaction. So really interested to get to this one. And then lastly, for poetry, I have If Not Winter by Anne Carson. This is a terrible book for BookTube because you just cannot see the title there at all, not even on the spine. Cool. This is Fragments of Sappho. So I've talked about this before. It has the Sappho's original in ancient Greek, yes, and then Carson's translation in English on the next side. I'm kind of trying to put together this project about Anne Carson, so I thought this would be a good time to read this and think about it a bit more critically as I go into that, and to kind of work out how it will fit into the project. So that is this tag. I am going to tag a couple of people because I don't think these people have done it, and I think that I think that their answers would be really interesting. So I want to tag, now instantly I can't remember, definitely Kara from Wild Book Garden, because I think that Kara, you read quite a few different genres as well, and I'm just always interested in what you have to say. Same vein, Caitlin from The Lit Review. You again read lots of different genres, and I would be interested in hearing your thoughts about the different ones. I know like you read historical romance and other romance and things like that as well. So I would love to hear your thoughts and whatnot on different genres. And finally, I want to tag the lovely Mel from A Book Fiend named Mel. Again, I know you read quite a few different genres, and also you read quite different genres from me, like thrillers and things like that, and like more adult fantasy and whatnot. So I would be really interested in hearing your thoughts as well. And that's it. That's the tag for today. I hope you're all doing well, and I will see you guys next time. No idea what my video is, but we'll find out together. Thank you for watching.